welcome to TV 360 Nigeria. I am Onyi Adekunle, and this morning we'll be bringing you updates from the Lekki Toll Gate, where two groups in Lagos State under the aegis of hashtag Occupy Lekki Toll Gate and the hashtag Defend Lagos are built to stage a protest to express their displeasure over the planned reopening of the toll gate. Now we have our correspondent Tunji Oye standing by at the scene of the planned protest. Now Tunji, thank you very much. Now tell us what's going on at the Lekki toll gate as we speak.
Well, there's not much that is going up. Actually, we expect that by now crowd will have been here protesting, but when we got there this morning, nothing is happening. Of course, you can see the detachment of armed policemen that are here. A couple of guys have been arrested, and those are the people you are seeing that they are being moved away. They are just guys that were picked up around the area, and the police said they are part of protesters. Some said they came actually for the protest, but others said they are going to work. So we didn't know the criteria for the police to have picked them, and now they are taking them away. So beyond that, there's nothing much that is happening. Everywhere is calm. Everybody is going about their normal business. The police are everywhere, in every nook and cranny, from the Lekki end of the road and from the VI end of the road. They are everywhere. And I think anybody that they can suspect to be part of the protest will be picked up. So beyond that, nothing is happening. Although there are rumors that the protesters are actually coming by 12 noon. So that is an unconfirmed statement, of course. So we are waiting to see if they will actually show up. But I can assure you that for now, it's relatively peaceful. In the next moment, we don't know what may actually happen.
But Tunji, have you been able to gather anything as per those that were arrested? Have you been able to speak to any of them? Or to gather how they were arrested?
Yeah, just behind me is the vehicle that is taking them away. We tried to speak to some of them through the small window there. Some actually told us that they came for the protest, and it's a peaceful protest, and they don't know the reason why they should be arrested. And others that are there told us that, well, they are going to their business and the police just arrest them. So there is conflicting reports about them. Just try listen to them. Just listen to them.
I have young people working for me in my site. I'm a civil engineer. Why am I apprehended? The future is at risk then. Then the future is at risk. If this is how everything will go, the future is at risk. There is no future down here. Maybe I can just travel out and be a slave abroad. And be a slave abroad.
That is the reason why we are here.
And be a slave abroad than being a slave in my own motherland. My ID card is my phone.
See, bro,
yes,
the truth is
I'm
this.
a contractor.
My question is it a crime to just come out of Lekki Phase 1 gate and get a food? That was all I did this morning. I'm working in Lekki Phase 1 and I came out to get a food, and the policeman was just right behind me. Then he dragged my knicker and I was like, excuse me sir, what have I done?
Police officers know this, they know the truth, they know the
I'm a photographer. So he just dragged me behind me and said, followed me, and I was like, why should I follow you? In fact, I did not even make any attempt to run because I was like, standing by Lekki Phase 1 gate, look at the distance from Lekki Phase 1, Lekki Peninsula to this place. Then he dragged me down here with another colleague of his. All of a sudden, I was pushing a black Maria. Said it's a crime for me to just come out of Lekki Phase 1 gate.
Imagine that.
If to come out of Lekki Phase 1 gate and get a food.
Wait, I don't understand. Is it an arrest or something? Or an adoption?
They are arresting us.
Are they adopting me or?
We did not do anything wrong. We did not commit any crime.
I don't understand even. Is it a crime to work in my own country? I'm a civil engineer, an employer of labor. Yes, of course, I employ.
Well, Oye, I don't know if you can hear me. And that is the situation right now. I don't know if you can hear me. That's the situation right now at the toll gate. Those are some of the guys that have been picked up by the police. Of course, there are different versions of the story. Some said they are going to work. Another said they came for the protest. Actually, it's their right to protest. So that's the situation right now at the Lekki Toll Gate. initially this morning it was very, very peaceful, but I think as the time goes on, we are beginning to see some action. So definitely maybe in the next 1 or 2 hours, there may be more actions in this place because it seems people are gradually coming out, and you can see maybe they are, I don't know, maybe a bit, they are beginning to see some action right now here.
Welcome back. We're still bringing you the live coverage of the planned protest at the Lekki Toll Gate, where two groups, the hashtag Occupy Lekki Toll Gate and the hashtag Defend Lagos, are built to stage a protest today to protest actually against the planned reopening of the Lekki Toll Gate by the order which was given by the Lagos panel or judicial panel of inquiry last week Saturday. Our correspondent Tunji Oye is still live at the scene to bring us updates. Tunji, now can you paint a clear picture of what is happening at the Lekki Toll Gate right now?
Well, Lekki Toll Gate, of course, is relatively peaceful now. You will remember that this is the scene of the last year's hashtag NSAS protest that people are here and vandalize a whole lot of things. But today, we are expecting that there will be a protest here, but since we got here in the morning, nothing is happening. Of course, you remember that the police has warned that they won't allow any protest, and so there are detachments of armed policemen everywhere. Now, if you are a protester and you come into this environment today, I don't know how you are going to escape the police, because from the end here, from Lekki axis, you can see police van strategically located in every corner, and even you can see their motorcycles that are lined up over there and their vehicles. So from in every nook and cranny, you have police that are actually dotted every strategic area at the Lekki Toll Gate right now. So everybody's going about their normal business. Vehicles are passing. There are a handful of guys that have been picked up on the suspicion that they are part of the protesters, also some have denied it. So the situation right now is cool, is calm, but as the time goes by, we are beginning to see little action. About 5 people have been arrested, some have been whisked away. They just arrested another young man here also, and he claimed that he's just going to work. So at the Lekki Toll Gate right now, everything is cool, everything is calm. Journalists are waiting, international journalists, local journalists, they are all here, waiting to see the mammoth crowd, the type we saw last December. We are hoping to see that again, but it's not likely that we see that because nothing is really happening here. Of course, we are still waiting. We understand by 12 noon, the protesters will still come out. We don't know if that is true. But for now, everywhere is cool and calm, and police are everywhere.
And Tunji, there are reports that the other group, which is the group that is countering the hashtag Occupy Lekki Toll Gate, that's the Defend Lagos group, which is against that protest. The initial protest has announced actually that they've withdrawn from the case. Can you confirm that to us?
Can you come again, please?
I said there are reports that the hashtag Defend Lagos group, which is against the protest, which is like a counter group against the hashtag Occupy Lekki Toll Gate, has withdrawn from their own protest. Can you confirm that to us, please?
Yes, because of course we understand that they've pulled out of they said they are not protesting again, and none of them is actually here. So they've said they are not protesting again, probably heeding the advice of the Commissioner of Police of Lagos State that both LCCI appealed on Thursday. The Lagos State government also appealed them to shelve the planned protest so that they will not clash. So they have heeded the advice and they are not protesting. But we are actually waiting for the ones that want to protest, that they're saying that this toll gate should not be reopened. I think the whole protesting emanates from the fact that the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry approved that this toll gate be reopened and business continue, because LCCI, the company, said they are losing millions on a daily basis. Of course, it is expected, because if you can see, a whole lot of things have been vandalized there and they are yet to be fixed. And so they cannot tow vehicles again, they cannot collect any money, and they say they are running at a huge loss on a daily basis. And so the panel must have look at the economic situation, and so that many people will not be laid off again, approved that LCCI should repossess the toll gate and commence operation. This is definitely what angered the protesters in the first place, and now started gathering themselves via the social media that they will protest today to show that they are unhappiness that this toll gate will be reopened. So that is why, that is probably the reason for the protest initially. I have Victor here, who is a journalist also. Victor is a journalist. We've been here together since morning, and of course, and he too is witnessed everything that happened. But Victor, let me ask you, the protest. Of course, all of us, we are waiting that this protest will come out massively. But now we are here, nothing is happening. Do you still think the protesters will show up any moment from now? Well, I have no idea, but we can only wait to find out. But I think it's just common sense where you have this number of police men and security operatives here to say that you can't have protests, I mean, for certain reasons. And then it is only wise for the protesters to sheath their swords, because you cannot fight in the grave. So I think if they still have such intentions, they should shove it for now. And at the end of the day, I think peace should just reign. But I don't see it happening. But if it does, the end result, you and I know what the end result might be. What's the problem is the fact that the last protest, you can see notable faces, artists, you can see people of means coming out, but there's nothing like that. No, I think you should not make a mistake. The situations are not the same. The first situation was a protest against police brutality, and that's where you had those number of persons, come out. But this one is different, where some group of persons are saying that it is not right for the authorities to let open the Lekki Toll Gate for operations to continue until justice is met. You would always have some persons say, I think you should allow them to do their job. After the panel finish sitting, then we can begin to talk. While some other persons say no. And so it's more like dissenting voices, and that's why you won't have such kind of situation just like the first episode of NSAS last year. So I think we shouldn't make that mistake. This is not a situation where people are protesting against the police, but a particular situation they don't like, and of course that's why you have what you have now. But one thing I'm curious about now, we have been here and we've seen about 5 guys being arrested, and you see we've spoken to them. Some said they are going to work, some said they are looking for the protest. It's a peaceful protest. My fear is now, you can see that guy again, you can see that, you can see there's another guy they are pursuing, and so it's a race to now. So what? So it's a whole lot of. I think we are beginning to see some action here, and where they are pursuing. So Victor, now this probably sum up what we are trying to say. I was just about asking, are we sure that the police will not eventually arrest the wrong person? Look at this guy being chased right now. They've arrested some guys now. Now, what will you say is the offense of this guy that they are running after? Are we sure they won't eventually arrest innocent person? Well, only the police can answer that, because it all looks like a movie that we are all trying to watch and see what becomes the end of it. We have pockets of people being picked up by the police for reasons yet unknown. And you listen to some of the interviews and they tell you that we don't know why we are just being picked up. I think the police is just being overly... Well, what do you think is the criteria? Do they just look at you and say the way you are dressed and you just feel you are part of the protest? As it is now, if you're not a journalist, you have no business here. But I'm not sure I saw that online or in any press release by the state government or anywhere to see why people should be picked up for no reason. But I think we should just hold on and find it, because I'm still confused why we still have the police picking up this. So I think the advice actually for people Nigerians now, that if you are not driving past through Lekki, just toll gate you are moving, and you are not a journalist, you are not expected to just be here right now. Absolutely. If you don't have any business at the Lekki Toll Gate, I think you should just stay away.
If you're not a journalist, please stay away. And if you have any reason to be here, please ensure you go out with an identity card. I think that will go a long way too.
Yes, yeah, because I can see them asking for identity card from some guys. Like 2 guys that didn't have identity card that has been arrested. This looks like identity card is very important now in Nigeria.
Absolutely. At this point in time, you need something to identify you, so people can separate the bad eggs from the good ones. Well, as it is, all I know is at the end of the day, I don't think these sort of people picked up by the police would stay longer than necessary in their custody, because you can't find any. You don't have anything against them really. I think the police are just being overzealous. But at the end of the day, I think their peace will reign eventually.
But I think the police may not be too wrong in actually setting up serious resistance here, because you are here last year and you can see the damage. Look at the damage that's still there, millions worth. So at least to curtail a repeat of that, and you can imagine how much the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the LCCI, they all said how many billions the nation lost during that protest. Do you think? I think it's fair enough to avert such a game, because the country is losing. People are losing their job. Businesses are crashing down. A whole lot of this company may eventually have to lay off some staff also. Don't you think the police have a reason for the sake of the larger percentage? Because if you look at the population of people protesting, it's likely infinitesimal to the larger population of Nigeria and Lagos.
All right. Well, you must understand that the police were the worst hit during the last protest. Worst hit in the sense that it affected the psyche of the policemen, and we had people who looted their weapons and ammunitions, punched down at police stations and posts and all of that. If you were a policeman at the time, you wouldn't even come out to say you're a policeman, because you stand a risk of being killed by these angry protesters. So up until then, until now, you see a rejig in the system. I'm talking about the police system now. You see more fierceful policemen who would.
You just took that from my mind. It looks like the operation of police now, is it not looking like a revenge or out of annoyance of what happened?
I think they just learned their lessons really in how to deal with angry protesters, because you can never tell where the pendulum will swing. They probably never knew that what happened last year would have happened really to that magnitude. I think putting up such a huge crowd of security operatives here is just a lesson, and they're trying to, in case of eventualities, trying to ensure that such repeat never happens. So they can never be too careful really. One stick of match can light up the entire world. That's the truth. So if you have a protester carrying placards, it is possible that you have some other persons trying to join, and before you know it, they begin to gain numbers. And at that point in time, the truth is, the police can't stop them. So anything that could trigger such crowd, anything that could trigger anything, they don't want to take any chances. Don't forget, like I said, they were the most hit, or the worst hit last year.
I am worried about something, finally, before I let you go. I'm worried that with the population we are seeing here, with the population we are seeing here, with the police officers we are seeing here with arms and ammunitions, and if a large crowd of protesters show up now, what do you think will happen? Because it looks to me that the police is ready not just to arrest, to deal with, to crush any protester. What do you think? Let's say we just have a crowd of about 500 trying to protest, or 1,000. Just imagine. What do you think? Are you sure we're not going to have casualties?
I think we should just stop imagining, because that's a $1 million question that I myself can't answer. But that's why you get to see the police picking up anyone that looks like you're going to protest. Whatever looks like it in your body, you might be picked up. If you're, even as a journalist, whatever looks like it. So they don't want to leave any traces. I don't want to imagine that happening, because if it does, I don't know, because you and I know in this country.
My fear again for the police is to be very civil. There are international journalists here. You know the story, the BBC report, the CNN report against the police and the army. And I think our officers also should be more careful and more civil, because they are all here and they are saying it. So that the police and the security agencies will not go in bad image again. Are you not worried about that also?
I think it's important. We know that the police already have a bad image in the country. and the NSAS protest in October last year was not didn't help matters. You would expect that from that time up until now there will be a lot of reforms, in terms of their mentality and how they react to issues like this. But I've not seen that happen so far here. When you pick up people randomly for no reason, I think we're still at the same issue. We're still at the crossroad, and our police have not even changed yet. Well, I don't know how this country is going to move forward with this kind of mentality, but I know it's not all hope are not lost. Really, I think we should just be hopeful and prayerful that things change for the better. But most importantly, protesters should sheath their sword, because at the end of the day, they will lose more.
Thank you very much, Victor. Thank you very much.
Well, you're still watching TV 360's live coverage of events at the Lekki Toll Gate, and our correspondent Sunji Oye has been bringing us updates from the scene, where we can see heavy security presence first to ensure that there is no convergence of protesters at the Lekki Toll Gate, and also to ensure free flow of traffic. Now we'll go on a short break here, and we'll bring you more details as it unfolds.